Obviously, depending on what happens with Snyder, this game could take on more importance, but it always is a big game when you're talking Battle of the Bishops. Dwenger at Luers. Both teams want to have momentum heading into the playoffs after tough losses last week. So what do you expect to see in this game at Luers Field on Friday?
It's a lot of, what does Dwenger do that can match up with Luers right now? I'm really concerned with the Dwenger offense, just not being able to put up points. They have a 4-game losing streak. It's the longest since 2000. 14 years. And I know the schedule has been daunting for Dwenger, but we just haven't been able to see that offense really get going here in the second half of the season. And, Luers is averaging over 40 points a game, and so you're going to have to put up points to beat the Knights. And right now I just don't know if Dwenger can put up enough points.
If you're Dwenger, though, last week in the first quarter, they moved the ball against Snyder. They had to settle for field goals. Red zone offense, obviously, Chris Schwarzkopf, they'll be working on that this week. But do you have a little bit of confidence knowing that, okay, we can get the ball to the 15, we can get the ball to the 10. It's just a matter of executing now in the red zone?
Yeah, over 300 yards of total offense. So they didn't get dominated last week, but it was obviously turnovers hurt them, blocked field goal hurt them, stuff like that. So, the core is there. They're able to move the ball against a team like Snyder, but can they finish drives like you mentioned? And it's going to be huge against Luers because in order to match the Knights on the scoreboard, they're going to have to take advantage of all the scoring opportunities they have.
And if you're Luers, how do you put last week's loss to Hartley out of mind? Because you lost by 30 on the road. When they went there 2 years ago, it was another lopsided loss to Columbus Hartley. And Columbus Hartley, give them a lot of credit. They're a good team in the state of Ohio. But, when you're talking about a team that is up for an SAC championship and is looking to make a run for the 3A state championship, that's a little bit concerning that it's a 30-point game.
I don't think it bothers Luers as much as maybe we think it did on Friday night. Talking to Coach Lindsay after the game, he came out of there. We had 5 penalties, he said. It was just a matter of Hartley just lined up and smacked us in the face, and they just ran it down our throats, and we couldn't stop it. It's just they were more physically a better football team than us. It wasn't as much mental errors and mistakes as that Coach Lindsay has been concerned about most of the season, especially penalties. It was just the fact they got beat by a better football team, and he thought they went and competed well. It was a learning experience for them, and now they kind of are able to regroup and never discount a late season loss and a late season butt kicking too to kind of refocus a team. This is a team that were winless last year. They're rolling through the regular season this year, and look at us, and all of a sudden they get beat up. So refocus a team, a young team still. So you don't have a lot of really truly mature seniors on that team too. So I think that helps. A loss on the road that doesn't hurt you in conference isn't going to hurt you in the playoffs. I think refocuses the Knights going into this week.
And it's interesting that you brought up penalties because I think I read an article from Reggie Hayes. It was like 6 of 8 games this year that Luers has been in double digits in terms of penalties called on them on a Friday night. So actually, they cleaned it up against Hartley, and that is a good sign going forward.
Yeah, the 20 penalties against Northside the week before for 170 yards, it was a huge concern. I'm standing there outside the huddle after the game, and you wouldn't have thought that Bishop Luers won that game the way Coach Lindsay was talking to his team. So he was really happy with the way they played Friday night in terms of cutting down the mistakes and the mental errors.